Welcome to Just for Today, March 11th, 2019. Lightening the load. Basic text, page 38. Sometimes we need something tangible to help us understand what holding a resentment is doing to us. We may not be aware of how destructive resentments actually are. We think, so what? I have a right to be angry. Or I might be nursing a grudge or two, but I don't see the harm. To see more clearly the effect that holding resentments is having in our lives, we might try imagining that we are carrying a rock for each resentment. A small grudge, such as anger at someone driving badly, might be represented by a pebble. Harboring ill will toward an entire group of people might be represented by an enormous boulder. If we actually had to carry stones for each resentment, we would surely tire of the weight. In fact, the more cumbersome our burden, the more sincere our efforts to unload it would be. The weight of our resentments hinders our spiritual development. If we truly desire freedom, we will seek to rid ourselves of as much extra weight as possible. As we lighten up, we'll notice an increased ability to forgive our fellow human beings for their mistakes, and to not forgive ourselves for our own. Well nourish our spirits with good thoughts, kind words, and service to others. Just for today, I will seek to have the burden of resentments removed from my spirits. Lightening the load of resentments. Man, I carry resentments like crazy. Which is really stupid. Resentments are insane, because it proves that you care about that person harming you and you're still upset about it, when even if that person did harm you, like, they've moved on from it. They're like not even thinking about it. The example that came into mind as I was reading that Just for Today was, I have a huge resentment against a guy I used to work for. I used to sell cars for. He was a pretty big fucking asshole, and see, there's the resentment right there. And anyways, I was in a situation where I wasn't aware that I was lying to people, but I was told false information. I was lying to people and forcing people into deals that they shouldn't have been doing. I was kind of complacent in this, and I knew what I was doing, so I definitely have a part in it. But anyways, I resented this boss for it. And I remember that I would avoid that block that I first of all, when I quit my job, I didn't even quit. I just stopped showing up. I just didn't ever show up again. And my phone would ring and I would just turn it off. Phone would ring, turn it off, phone ring, turn it off. And I just never ever went by that car dealership again. I would avoid the block like it was the plague. And I would be so scared of running into him places. I knew there was a place where he would usually drink, so I wouldn't go to that place. I never even picked up my check. I had like a pretty good amount of money sitting there for me to be picked up, a check. And I just never picked it up. I was too pathetic and scared to do it. And I have this huge resentment against him for making me, he didn't make me, but for pushing me towards, selling these vehicles to people that clearly didn't want them, couldn't afford them, and were not the right suit for them. But he was just pushing through like the pressure sale just to get it done. I even sent one of my friends to try to go and collect my check because I was too pathetic to do it up front. I saw him years after in a London Drugs, and my heart just sank. Like, I was still upset and still scared and still running away from this pathetic altercation, and it just made me feel like I still thought about it every other day for years after it happened. because I carried that weight with me. Just like they say about the stones and the pebbles, I carried that weight of the resentment against this guy. And against myself, I guess, because I was so ashamed at how I handled the situation. And the thing is that guy, he probably thought about it for 2 days and got over it and moved on with his life. He's not sitting there being like, a year later, like, oh, that fucking cunt that, fucking left me and never came back to work and blah, blah, blah. Like, he's probably not doing that. He's a huge asshole and he's getting over things way quicker than I am because he knows not, because he's like, there's no point in resenting him, moved on. Like, I actually don't know this. Maybe he does resent me a whole bunch. But my guess is that he's not holding on to the resentment like I am. He's probably moved on because he has better things to think about, better things to worry about, better weights to carry around. And that's just what the whole reading is about today. You have to get rid of your dead weight. Cut that dead weight loose like it's a fucking bad ex-girlfriend, bad ex-boyfriend. Get them out of the situation. You don't want to be working with that dead weight. It slows you down everywhere you go. So if you can learn to not resent, and how do you learn to not resent? Should we explore this for a minute? Man. Not resenting is hard. I think being able to relate, I don't know, I'm going to have to think about this and write that more. And being honest and being forthright, being truthful. So many of these things come down to honesty. It's insane. But just be honest and be truthful, and you'll get away from your resentments. And be kind. Like, don't be a dick about it. So many times I so instantly turn into the asshole, and I hate myself for it after the fact. Because then I gotta hold that resentment against myself. Because I've become such a monster. So I think, like, yourself, for me, myself is one of my biggest resentments too. I resent my past. I resent a lot of things that happened to me. I resent a lot of things that I did because I'm embarrassed about them. I'm ashamed of them. So I don't know why, but being ashamed really came for me today. Being embarrassed. And that's what resentments are for me, maybe. People embarrassing me. People using me, maybe. Being used by people. Not that I'm not complacent in that use. I totally am all the time. But I'm, I guess, too pathetic of an individual to stand up for myself sometimes. So maybe standing up for yourself, standing up for what's right, listening to your gut, for me, my gut is my higher power. So, listening to your higher power. When something's telling you something, when you feel like, and it happened to me when I was, like, pushing those cars on people. Like, I knew I shouldn't, like, something was telling me, don't do this. This is bad. This is wrong, kind of. And that was, like, my higher power being like, dude, don't be doing this. That's what that feeling was. And because I went against that feeling and did it anyways, now I'm left with a resentment. See, I don't know if any of that made fucking sense. Probably not. Got a little off topic today. I didn't even want to do this. I'm pretty tired from work, to be honest. I'm going to start doing these in the morning. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to do it so it's up like all day. So it's not like this nighttime shit after I'm here, like, done work. I don't like doing them after work. So hopefully I'm in a better mood when I'm right in the morning, nice and fresh, and that works out better for me in the long run. Thank you for tuning in today, if you did, and my name is Heavy Brown, and this has been the Just for Today for March 11th. Have a good day.